I think it was us. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Microphone check, 1, 2, 3.
Working now. Call this July meeting of the County Commission to order. Invocation will be by Commissioner Jerry Rainey, and the pledge will be by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Please stand.
Dear God, we pause to reflect upon the blessings that you have provided us and the opportunities that we have ahead of us. We thank you for the many blessings that we especially enjoy in Williamson County and Middle Tennessee, and for the opportunity to work with the citizens of the area to constantly strive to improve. We thank you now for this time that we spend together to look after the future of our county and ask your guidance and ask you to be with everybody in this room, all the leaders of the county, in order to try to make this an even better place to live. We ask this in your Son's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we have roll call. You'll please log in and mark your Megan's not here. Let's see. Brian, you working on it? Betsy's working on it, I guess. So you haven't. Brian is connected now. Amy may need to go. May need to go. Brian. Okay. Call the roll, please. I think we got them all.
20 present, 4 absent. Commissioner Guffey, Commissioner Herbert, Commissioner Hudson, and Commissioner Smith absent.
Thank you. This time we have approval of the minutes. We have a motion by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe, second by Chad Story. Are there any additions and corrections? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. In favor of the amendments, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Bless you.
Bless you.
Oh, all right. Betsy's. Can someone help her get home? Okay. All right. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 0 no.
Minutes are approved. We had no one sign up for citizens' communications, so now we're at communications and messages. First, I'd like to ask everyone if you would silence your cell phone for the meeting. I'd also like to thank the Sheriff's Department for providing our security for tonight. And at this meeting is the final meeting for probably the largest group of commissioners since I've been on the commission, remember retiring. And so I'd like to thank for the service of Commissioner Dana Osbrooks, Jerry Rainey, Dwight Bubba Jones, Beth Lothers, Chad Story, Keith Hudson. I don't think I missed anybody, did I? Well, I don't thank myself. But this has been a great group to work with. It's been a memorable 16 years. So anyway, thank you very much. We have 3 late filed resolutions. Are there any objections to hearing 7-22-22? Any to 7-22-23? Or any for 7-22-24? These were all in your packet. 22 will be heard first in zoning. 23 will be heard at the end of appropriations. Then 24 will be the last one of the meeting. So I think that's all the announcements. Oh, the microphones. They say that there is a delay for some reason on the microphones. It sometimes takes it up to 5 seconds before it can turn on. So if you start speaking and you're not being heard, just give it a second. It'll probably come on. Don't keep pushing the button on and off. So, and it also takes it a few seconds to turn off after, so be careful what you say. And I think that is all the announcements I have. Remember, there's no meeting in August, so the next meeting will be in July. And speaking of that, on the second page of the agenda, there is noted a recess for the rotating committees. Since the elections have not been held yet, that will be done at the September meeting. So that will be removed from the agenda. Also, a note that there was in the packet, there was a storm water nominee ballot set out. That will also be done at the September meeting, even though it was in your this month's packet. I think that is all the announcements that I have, and so Rogers, you're next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and appreciate it. First of all, let me say thanks to the Budget Committee. Several people have had thank yous, but to the Budget Committee this year for passing a budget that was balanced and probably one of the strongest budgets we've ever had in the history of Williamson County. A lot of that credit goes to Nina and Phoebe. Because Tommy wasn't introduced and thanked, we have a special plaque for Tommy. Excuse me, for his many years as being the chairman. So Tommy, I'm going to walk up into the well and give it to you, and it reads in recognition of your outstanding dedication and commitment as chairman of the Williamson County Board of Commissioners 2018 through 2022. Thank you.
Thank you.
Believe me, being chairman is not an easy role. I did that for many years. And Tommy, we thank you for doing that, coming to all the extra meetings and things you have to do. So appreciate you very, very much.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to call upon Nina. This is her last time coming to the podium. She will be retiring at the end of this month, and Phoebe will be taking over. So Nina, come on up for your last report.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. It's not the end of the month. It'll be Thursday, so Thursday's my last day. Anyway, in your packets tonight, we do have some reports to go over. The May privilege tax report, the total collected for the month of May is $1,239,398. Your education impact fee report is also through the end of May. Total collected life to date through the end of May is a little over $103 million. And total net collections available to apply to projects is $54 million. Your May budget report, nothing unusual to report there. You'll see the parentheses, most all of the funds up in the revenue section. That means we've collected over budget. And the parentheses that you see down in the appropriations in the general debt service fund, that should be corrected in the June report. The collections for the Cool Springs Conference Center for the month of May, we did have a profit of $19,250. So we're still working on closing out the year, and your final reports for this fiscal year will be given to you in the month of September. So that's all of my reports.
Are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that's all I've got to report tonight. I'll answer any questions.
Are there any questions of the mayor? Seeing none, thank you, sir. Director of Schools.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, commissioners, especially those commissioners who are rolling off. We know that it's basically volunteer work that y'all are doing, and we very much appreciate it. And I want to especially thank the commissioner for your prayer. Thank you, Commissioner Rainey, for your prayer, and especially the comment about thinking about the future. That's where we are. We're really proud of where we are, but we know that we're headed in the right direction. If you subscribe to In Focus, our newsletter, you saw in last week's In Focus that the preliminary TCAP test data came out, and that TCAP is grades 3 through 8, and in each of the 4 main subject areas, our students were first. It's statewide. So we're very proud of that. TCAP is transitioning to online testing, and so we're getting the data a lot earlier than we used to, and so we're very proud of that. A week or two before that, the state released statewide data. They released it county by county, district by district last week. So we're still digging through that, looking for some goal points. I know math especially is something that we'll be looking at with the state. They are going through the adoption process for new math textbooks this coming year. That's been delayed a year because of the COVID delays that the state was experiencing just this past year. So we're looking forward to that. I also want to mention to you that our staffing hiring for next year is ahead of where we were this time last year. And I want to thank you for what you've done to contribute to that. The mid-year pay increase, which was unprecedented to my knowledge, led by Mayor Anderson. I want to thank you all for your work in that, and also for passing our budget just a couple of weeks ago. We are convinced that it's made a difference already in our hiring of teachers. We need to continue to be competitive, and we thank you for your work on that. Finally, we have 2 items on your agenda that are school items, and I know that the county finance has some other items that are related to funding schools as well. Certainly will be available for any questions you may have related to those items.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Williamson Medical Center.
It's always great to follow the tallest guy in the room. You probably don't notice me pulling the microphone down. Mr. Chair, Board of Commissioners, thanks for having us here to report to you. I'll be brief. A quick update on COVID-19. Over the last few weeks, we've been in the high single digits or really low double digits for COVID inpatients. The nice thing is we haven't seen many patients in the ICU. We've seen a lot of cases, positive cases recently in the area, but it seems those are lower acuity. We've had several staff off because of it, but hopefully this will continue this way where we have low numbers. As far as our building project, it's progressing as planned. We continue to be on schedule. So far, most of the work has been below grade, so you don't see a lot above grade. We've erected the steel for our new ambulance canopy. And over the weekend, our tower crane was erected, so you'll see that in the sky. Realistically, what's going on now is we'll see steel for the new ER expansion start to go up next week. And then the ER expansion is expected to go live in mid-May of 2023. That's the expanded part, and then we'll go back in and renovate. For the West Tower, the below-grade work will begin at the end of September, and concrete foundation starting in October. We'll expect to see steel starting to be erected right after Christmas, and the steel top out in May of 2023 with the drying completion by July of 2023. There's been recently some confusion as to how to navigate to our adult ER, and our outpatient area because of the construction going on. We've got some pretty major signs up there, but I know it's difficult with parking and all that right now. And so we've started a valet service at our outpatient registration from 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day. And within the next week or two, we'll be able to start valet service at our ER entrance. So it's going to be a lot easier for patients in our community. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mike Genesee, our CFO, to provide the financial report.
Thank you, Phil. Good evening. You guys have the financial package in front of you. As you can see, May was a strong month for us. We had a net income of $560,000+ versus a budget of just under $520. We increased our cash available to use by a little bit over $1.6 million. Really strong collection month of $1.4 million over the prior month. Our days cash on hand was up almost by 1 day, 213, and our debt coverage ratio pretty much stayed the same at 2.6. Last month, I said that the volumes were a little bit softer. That was in April. You can see they've come back in May. All of our key stats are up over the prior, the averages, with the exception of patient days. And patient days being down is really a good thing for us because we don't get paid on the patient days. We get paid on the admission. So that helps us out, reduces our costs and so forth. So again, good cash month, good revenue month, and good earnings month. So any questions?
Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other office needing to want to make a report? Seeing none. Moving on. Next, we have elections and appointments. Sports Authority, 6-year term expiring in 6 of 26. Filling unexpired term of Ben Wynn. The nomination is Joe Fleener. The motion by Commissioner Lawrence, the second by Commissioner Tunnicliffe. All in favor say aye. Excuse me, this is a vote, not an aye. I'm going back a few years. Press your yes button, opposed your no. Bert and okay, coming. Do you want a voice vote while they get you connected? All right, he's a yes. Keith, are you getting connected? Yes. Okay. All right, Keith is still getting connected. He said voice vote him as a yes. Yes. Okay. All right. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
All right. Position is filled. Public Building Authority, 6-year term expiring in 7 of 28. Term expiring Stacy Downs and Matthew McQueen. Nomination Stacy Downs and Matthew McQueen. The motion by Brian Bethard, the second by Dana Osbrooks. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Still having connection issues. Keith's voice votes a yes. Okay. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
They are appointed. Emergency Communication District Board of Directors, 4-year term expiring in 3 of 26. At-large member Alan Lovett, term expiring, and nomination is Alan Lovett. The motion by Commissioner Dwight Jones, the second by Commissioner Dana Osbrooks. Any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. I want to go see if you can help Keith get signed on. There he goes. He's got it. All right, it worked. Never mind. All right. Anyone change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
They are appointed. Next, we have the Water and Wastewater Authority, 5-year term expiring in 7 of 27. Term expiring Michael Delvisi. The nomination, Michael Delvisi. The motion by Commissioner Barb Sturgeon, the second by Commissioner Aaron Nations. Any questions? Or seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Any wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Next, we have the consent agenda. If you're in favor of the motion by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliff, the second by Commissioner Dana Osbrooks. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. You want to voice vote this one? Say yes? Okay, voice vote it. And would change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
A consent agenda is passed. Next, we have late filed Resolution 7-22-22. Resolution to confirm minor subdivision approval authority. The motion by Commissioner Beth Lathers, the second by Commissioner Barb Sturgeon. There was no committee votes on this. Explanation, please, Commissioner Lathers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you hear me now?
It's blinking.
I'm touching it. All right. As always, the planning department has been able to oversee 42 lots for applications. The General Assembly,
Hang on just a second. You're not
I'm not,
coming through it. Turn your mic off and then turn it back on. All right, now.
test for two. Test.
Now turn it off again. We're still trying. Try one. Now turn it on. Wait a second. Let her. No, it's still blinking. Either, yeah, let her have yours or mine, either one. Let's turn on Chad's. No, it's not working either.
Thank you, Chad. Can you hear me now? I think it's me.
No, his isn't coming on either. So we.
It's okay. I'll just talk really loudly. Can y'all hear me? Okay. So basically, this resolution is basically authorizing what we've always done. The General Assembly passed something where it can give planning departments authority up to 25 units per subdivision to oversee. This is what this is. This is basically authorizing what we already have in place. So what we're just asking, that this be approved tonight, because otherwise, if we don't, people who just want to subdivide 1 to 2 units have a 6-week waiting period to have to go before planning commission. So this is basically a housekeeping resolution. But in the future, if the planning department or planning commission wants to review and make some recommended changes under the new law, they can do that. So we have Mike Madison, planning director here, and Christy Ransom if there are any more additional questions.
Are there any questions? All right, Commissioner, oops, I just went away. Seeing no questions. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-1. Resolution of the Williamson County Board of County Commissioners approval of an intent to fund of $40 million for new construction of Brentwood Middle School. The school board was 10-4-0 against. Education Committee was 3-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 3-4-0 against. The motion by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliff, the second by Commissioner Ricky Jones. Explanation, please, Tom.
Yeah, this is to complete the funding of the construction of Brentwood Middle School. And there was some questions during budget and education on this, so if there's any questions, Jason is here and be happy to answer those, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I was going to try. Are there any questions? Is my mic working now? Yeah, all right, I'm still working. All right, we're going to try to reset them so we'll see if this works. Are there any questions? Commissioner Sturgeon.
Yeah, I was in budget committee, and I understand, but I would like you, if you could explain the difference between what was in the capital plan versus what we're actually experiencing, just for residents and anybody else watching.
Thank you, Commissioner, and I'll repeat the question just in case it didn't make it onto the broadcast. As I understand it, the question is, could I describe the difference in the funding, especially related to our five-year capital plan and why there's a difference? So we bid all our projects based on lowest and best bid. Our five-year capital plan usually tracks our projections based on the market conditions at the time, and just simply put, the market conditions have changed and they're changing fast. So we had expected that this final funding requested for you all would be in the range of $28 million. When the bid came in, it's 40. So it's been a significant change over the last year or so since our five-year capital plan. Yes, ma'am.
Are there any questions? Any other questions? Thank you. Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Is it not coming up? You want a voice vote? Voice vote, a yes. Okay. Anyone wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Should we try having everybody turn their mic off, push the off button, reset? So you're saying you want? Okay. We're going to try to fix the mic problem. Give us just a second. The only mic working is mine, and y'all hear me enough. Let's see if it works.
You just disconnected me. But
Well, they haven't voted on that. So is it that they
Okay, so maybe,
have jumped to the second one?
Tom, do a test.
Yes, sir.
Okay, maybe we're good. Okay. Resolution 7-22-2. Resolution requesting an intent to fund for $12,514,650 for the Williamson County Board of Education 2022-23 capital needs. The motion by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe, the second by Commissioner Ricky Jones. School Board was 10-4-0 against. Education Committee was 3-4-1 against. Budget Committee was 3-4-1 against. Explanation, please.
Yeah, Commissioner, Chairman, this is the funding of the capital needs to go along with what we funded last month at our last meeting.
Are there any questions? Commissioner Herbert. Okay, now try.
Okay. I wanted to make a motion to amend the amount to 10 million.
We have a motion to reduce, for an amendment to reduce it to 10 million. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hester. So, all right. You got that? That would be reducing it to 10 million. All right, is there any questions, any discussion? Commissioner Herbert.
All right. Every department in the county managed to meet their budget, give their employees a salary increase, and pay for their capital items out of their budget. and I feel like the schools should make some effort too. I know they've got $1 million extra where they're not doing the vocational anymore. They've increased their budget $50 million this year, and I think they should have the money to be able to pay for some of their capital. So if they don't, we just need to reduce their capital.
Any other discussion on the amendment? Commissioner Osbrooks.
Okay. I will not be supporting the motion to decrease capital funding. The last several years, that's what we've done. We've decreased and decreased and decreased, and it's catching up with us. So I will not be in favor. This is still as Roger said, we passed a very fiscally sound operating budget. I have faith in the Budget Committee, and I believe that this is a fiscally sound capital request on behalf of the schools.
Any other questions or comments? Commissioner Lawrence.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just ask Jason if he could come up. Just based off the last numbers you gave us, we went from 28 million to 40 million. That's about a 40% increase. So I'm guessing that we're seeing the same types of increases on these expenses as well.
On many of them, yes. So you all know that we include a annual capital budget for a lot of the maintenance, technology, safety issues, and that is what this budget is. I'm no genius about where we're headed in the future, but I can't help but think the longer we wait on these, the more it's going to cost.
Okay, that's all.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Commissioner Williams.
Jason, can you maybe give us some detail as to what goes in the total technology department line there, and what all is included in those numbers?
Sure. Let me flip to the technology. Video security camera replacements, student Chromebooks for growth and replacement Chromebooks, notebook computers and accessories for teachers, some laser printer replacements, replacements of some desktops at high schools, some interactive LED panels to replace expired or expiring interactive whiteboards and projectors for high school classrooms. We actually have a number of items related to student Chromebooks for growth that we separate that out between rural and general. General being for high schools, rural for K-8 because of the structure with Franklin Special School District. So I'm going to skim back to the others. Voice gateway routers, let's see, $16,000. I know it's not a huge amount for telephone handsets. School classroom intercom systems, paging systems, campus local access network, access switches and additional switches, and servers for the video security cameras, wireless access points. We also have a backup data center that we have at one of our high school locations that's actually on a different AT&T network from our main center that is at the emergency management building, and that includes uninterruptible power supplies at that location.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Commissioner Sturgeon.
Jason, Commissioner Herbert mentioned $1 million that you're saving. Where is that going to go?
Well, when we make decisions about our programming, we do so through the budget process. And so we don't think we're going to cut this and therefore we're going to spend the money on this. We look at it as an overall budget. So we start with our fund balance in what we had budgeted for and haven't spent, and then we work on the expenses we need. And so we didn't say we're going to save blank and we're going to.
It's just going to go into fund balance.
That's correct.
And then when you need it for something, you'll look at it at that time.
Well, so the fund balance, we have to have a 3% fund balance to start the year according to the state structure. And so we make sure when we bring you a budget, we have that. And historically, if there is a capital cut, we have to go back and reevaluate the budget and determine what we can afford now. We never spend out of our operational budget unless it's been approved either, well, both, by the school board and you all. So if we had to cut into that fund balance, it ultimately comes to you.
Commissioner Dwight Jones.
I know we've butted heads over this for 12 years now. You and Dr. Looney and everybody. My problem with all this, and I was at no vote, is we spent $7 million on books in your operating budget. I supported your operating budget. My issue with putting books in operating budget is you ask for books in your operating budget every time. We should not, and I'm going to say it publicly, we should not be asking for books in our operating budget as an increase every time. You've got a line item for your books. Unless books go up, we shouldn't be adjusting that line item. Because if you put it in your operating budget and next year you ask for another $7 million, then where did that last $7 million go? And I know we talked about this. I told you I'd rake you over the coals when we got to July. I don't think $2 million is going to make or break you. I know we've done that before. You didn't flinch when she said it, so as I told the paper before, if he flinches, probably was a little too much. If you don't flinch, we didn't hit him hard enough. So just so you know, I was watching you when she said $2 million, so I'll support the deduction just because you didn't flinch. You're a little late now.
Well, I will tell you
Now you look like
that
Biden.
in our discussions, in our discussions, each of you have been very upfront and open throughout the budget process, and I think we have been too. So Commissioner Herbert had told me that she was going to make this motion. We've had many discussions, and I respect her motion, and she deserves respect, and likewise you do too. I disagree. And we believe that what we've presented is a conservative approach. But again, we respect the motion. You all have to make those decisions, and we need to do what we know based on our experience is best, and you all have to do the same thing. So I hope that you're not making a decision based on a physical reaction. I appreciate that. I do want to let you know that one of the comments you made was about the books. Our book request, if you go back and look at our budget, vary from year to year based on the Tennessee book adoption cycle. So this year, we have $7 million in the budget to prepare for the math adoption. We go through the process this fall and ultimately have to get those books funded for the following school year late in this budget year. Last year, it was substantially less. And again, it depends on the adoption cycle. The cycles are typically 6 years. So you'll see, you saw a spike 2 years ago with English because that was the adoption cycle for English. Math was delayed a year, you would have seen this spike then. We don't save up the money. We spend what we need to spend, and if we don't go over, that goes to fund balance, and again, it's used to fund the following budget. So I just wanted to make sure you all were clear on that. We did have a time, especially with science and social studies, the most recent adoptions that we actually did our own materials. In a few years, we'll be crossing that bridge again to make the decision on whether we can continue that.
I may follow up, if that's okay with you.
Yes, go ahead.
Jason, I understand completely what you're saying. I do. But what I'm talking about is you put it in your operating budget.
That's
You
right.
never decrease your operating budget. Your operating budget went up $50 million this year.
We continue to grow. You are correct.
But you've had money in your budget, operating budget from last year for books. And we have done this year after year. I would put it in this capital. And I even throwed out that thought process, I got told that probably wasn't the best way to go, so, and I'm fine with that. I'm not against, as you said in our budget hearing, then you don't want people to have a raise. That's not what I'm saying.
Just so you know,
And-
I got to interrupt right now. I never have said that you don't
And-
want anybody to have a raise.
And I'm fine with that. I'm not, it's just an issue where if it goes in your operating budget, it's there. It's there to stay. We got into this, he said, she said with Dr. Looney years ago over me cutting it $9 million. But the fact of the matter is, I was increasing it $19 million. That's what nobody ever sees. So when you put it in your operating budget, the next year you've got $7 million in your operating budget. That money, either you put it somewhere else, but it was there for books. When I started here, we got 250 pages for a school's budget. Now we're down to 20-something pages. And I'm fine with it. Hey, to be honest with you, I kind of like it because it's a whole lot easier to tote around than toting around a binder. But, and that's all I'm saying.
Gotcha.
I'm not beating you up. I voted for it. I'm not trying to go back and change nothing. We're talking about capital. I wanted to put it in capital, just because that leaves it at a one-time expense. Now, I don't know if you can put
Yeah.
books in capital. I don't know.
I appreciate what you're saying. We have not made that decision. Certainly, when the next big cycle comes we're open to talking about that. Our thinking was we could afford it within the existing operational budget. We didn't think it was wise to make the request on capital for that. We have found ways over the years to pay for books within the operating budget. This year, we were able to give raises and put books in the budget.
Anything else? Commissioner Lathers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to echo that I so respect Commissioner Herbert and Commissioner Hester and what they have made a motion in terms of consideration. I also want to say that having served on the Budget Committee, it is very intricate, and there's a lot of time over that whole year period through all the different meetings and committee levels that it's looked at over a fine-tooth comb. At this stage, I'm just personally not comfortable with trying to micromanage Williamson County Schools to say they don't need a certain amount of money without it being tied to specific types of things that are reduced. I don't think that that's good management for a legislative body. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not hearing anything that makes me want to not vote for what Williamson County Schools has requested when we're talking about video cameras, Chromebooks, desktops. We have oversight. We could ask the hard questions in terms of how things are allocated. But I just would, with no disrespect to my colleagues, I just support the request from Williamson County Schools as is. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote on the amendment to reduce the capital expense to $10 million. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Do you want a voice vote, or do you want her to come help you get it going? Okay. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Go see if you can go help him get it. Record the vote, please.
Five yes, 17 no.
The amendment fails. We are now back to the resolution as written. Are there any questions or comments on the resolution as presented? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you are in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
20 yes, 2 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-3. Resolution appropriating $4,400,000 adequate school facilities privilege tax funds and appropriating the related operating transfers for the 2022-23 general debt service expenditures. The motion by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliff, the second by Commissioner Chad Story. Education Committee was 4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please.
Yes, sir. We're just going to rearrange, oh, there we go. We're just going to rearrange some funds. Sorry, this is sad. We're moving $4.4 million to help us with some building programs.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-4. Resolution of the governing body of Williamson County, Tennessee, authorizing the issuance, sale, and payment of interest-bearing 2022-23 general purpose school fund tax anticipation notes not to exceed $6 million. The motion by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliff, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Education Committee was 4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Tom.
Yes, sir. This is the ability for us to borrow up to $6 million until taxes are collected to operate the schools.
That is, it won't be borrowed unless it is needed. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Commissioner Hudson votes yes. Anyone wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-5. Resolution appropriating $6,500,000 education privilege tax and $1,100,000 adequate school facilities privilege tax and approving the related operating transfers for the 2022-23 rural debt service expenditures. The motion by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliff, the second by Commissioner Barb Sturgeon. The Education Committee was 4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please.
Thank you, Chairman. This is just allowing us to move some money to help with increased expenses within the school district.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-6. Resolution amending the 2022-23 capital projects budget and appropriating up to $3,700,000 for major corridor study projects and the purchase of new equipment, revenues to come from unappropriated highway fund balance. The motion by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliff, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Highway Commission was 4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please.
Pretty self-explanatory. All right, so I apologize. We're, sorry, this has got me all messed up. Allowing us to get the new equipment needed in the highway department to make changes in the support within the corridor study area.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-7, resolution appropriating and amending the 2022-23 County General Fund budget by $10,212,798, revenues to come from County General Fund balance. The motion by Commissioner Dwight Jones, the second by Commissioner Paul Webb. The Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Tom.
These funds are being used to, for these purchases listed below under general projects and others.
Are there any questions? Commissioner Herbert.
I just want, can you hear me now? I just wanted to thank all the departments for finding money in their fund balance, taking the capital projects. That saves a lot of money on our debt, and I really appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Commissioner Williams.
Does this include money for our microphone?
Can't answer that.
Too soon.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-8, resolution appropriating and amending the 2022-23 capital projects budget by $3,209,759. Revenues come from unappropriated solid waste sanitation fund balance. The motion by Commissioner Brian Betther, the second by Commissioner Barb Sturgeon. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Tom.
This is going to allow us the funds we need to make the necessary needs for the landfill to continue with our growth.
Are there any questions? Commissioner Williams?
Yeah, just asking a quick question around, there's a line item here that says landfill shop expansion. I was just curious to know a little bit of detail about that. And then was also curious as to where,
For the building, the landfill convenience center, where that next one is located at.
Okay. Matt? I don't know if that's right.
I don't know if you heard the questions, if I need to restate them.
Landfill shop expansion is basically going to double the size of our current shop. It's a metal building, metal structure that's 60 feet long and 30 feet wide. So we'll do another one right beside it. That way we'll have a service pit in one bay and then another bay where we can work on the equipment, be landfill equipment plus the trucks. We've already hired the extra mechanic in this past budget to do that. What we were doing previously is we would hire a truck driver to work Saturdays and Sundays, fix his own flats and service his own trucks. And we couldn't hire drivers. It's easier to hire mechanics, so we keep the truck drivers on the street, mechanic working on stuff. The landfill building, if you've been out there, there's a convenience center at the entrance of our landfill. And it's an old log building that when it was put up, it was put up exactly the way it was moved, still leaning. And it's hard to maintain, and it's not getting in bad shape, so we need to replace that building.
Okay. And then where's it, building a new landfill convenience center? Is that a new convenience center that's going in, or?
No, that $100,000 is just to replace the current building.
Okay, understood. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? All right, seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-9. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2022-23 capital projects budget by $550,000 for the purchase of various parks and recreation equipment, revenues to come from recreation privilege tax funds. The motion by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliff, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Parks and Recreation Committee was 4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please.
Yes, sir, Chairman. These funds are being used for the increased demands we're having throughout the county in our Parks and Rec department.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your Commissioner Lathers, I'm sorry. Popped up there, didn't see it.
Sorry about that, Mr. Chairman. I just had a quick question about the surveillance cameras, which I think is a great step forward. I just wondered what the cameras are going to be going specifically. I know we've had issues in Nolensville with some vandalism and so forth. I'm just curious. I think it's a great, I'm going to vote for it. I just wonder where they're going.
Yes, Commissioner, these cameras will go to various locations that currently don't have them.
Okay.
And, you know, we do have some installed outdoors in Nolensville now.
Right.
But these mostly are going to be more sophisticated cameras that are going into the buildings,
Oh, and
cover some blind spots.
inside. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-10. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2022-23 capital projects budget by $261,804 for the purchase of fire equipment for the Williamson County Volunteer Fire Service, revenues to come from fire protection privilege tax funds. The motion by Commissioner Jennifer Mason, the second by Commissioner Aaron Nations, excuse me. Moving too fast. Anyway, Aaron Nations. Law Enforcement Committee was 4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please. Tom?
Chairman, these,
Or Jennifer Mason, excuse me. Different person signed this one.
that's true.
This is for the purchase of a new engine at the Brentwood station.
Are there any questions? Since I'm messing up everybody's name. Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-21-11. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2022-23 Register of Deeds budget by $166,000, revenues to come from document recording fees. The motion by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliff, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please.
Yes, sir, Chairman, these funds will be used to upgrade existing equipment and purchase new equipment, as well as maintenance and operating costs associated.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Tom? Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-12. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2022-23 county clerk's budget by $15,000, revenues to come from reserve account. The motion by Commissioner Dwight Jones, the second by Commissioner Chaz Morton. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Tom.
County clerk is needing some new equipment, various equipment and printing equipment and supplies, and these funds are coming from filing fees.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-13. Resolution appropriating and amending 2022-23 Circuit Court Clerk's budget by $50,000. Revenues to come from reserve account. The motion by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Tom.
Mr. Chairman, these are, once again, equipment needed by the clerk's office and derived, these funds are derived from filing fees in these reserve funds.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Commissioner Rainey. Anyone wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-14. Resolution authorizing a contract amendment between Williamson County Juvenile Court and the State of Tennessee Department of Children's Services for its Juvenile Justice Prevention Intensive Probation Program and amending the 2022-23 Juvenile Court budget by $192,000. Revenues to come from state grant funds. The motion by Commissioner Jennifer Mason, the second by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe. Law Enforcement Public Safety was 4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Mason.
This is a grant that we received
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Late filed resolution 7-22-23. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2022-23 Juvenile Court Clerk's budget by $10,000 for the purchase of office equipment and supplies. Revenues to come from reserve account. The motion by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe, the second by Commissioner Judy Herbert. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please.
More equipment needed for the county clerk's, for the juvenile court clerk's office, and once again, funds coming from filing fees.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-15. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute a long-term option lease agreement with Vogue Tower Partners, VII LLC, to construct and operate a telecommunications tower. The motion by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe, the second by Commissioner Dwight Jones. Parks and Recreation Committee was 4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Tunnicliffe.
Yes, sir. This is a lease concerning a new cellular tower, allowing us the coverage in those areas.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-16. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into a long-term lease agreement with Friends of Williamson County Animal Center. The motion by Commissioner Osbrooks, the second by Commissioner Story. Property Committee was 5-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Rainey.
It's kind of interesting. The Animal Center was given another building, and this is $1 a year or whatever it is. It's a lease back that says they can now use it to store their stuff.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-17. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into a lease agreement with Arrington Volunteer Fire Department. The motion by Commissioner Mason, the second by Commissioner Nations. Property Committee was 5-4-0 against. Law Enforcement and Public Safety was 4-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Mason.
This is just a continuation of the lease that we currently have with the Arrington Volunteer Fire Department, and it is authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with them.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-18. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into a lease agreement with Williamson Fire and Emergency Services. The motion by Commissioner Mason, the second by Commissioner Osbrooks. Property Committee was 5-4-0 against. Law Enforcement and Public Safety was 4-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Mason.
Again, this is more housekeeping as we already lease these properties. It's just to allow the mayor to enter into leases to continue the emergency services, fire, to remain there.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-19. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor into a lease agreement with the Williamson County Hospital District, DBA Williamson Medical Center. The motion by Commissioner Mason, the second by Commissioner Herbert. Property Committee was 5-4-0 against. Law Enforcement and Public Safety was 4-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Mason.
Again, another lease property that we would approve the mayor to again enter into a lease agreement to allow the hospital doing business as the medical center to continue to lease the property.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone who should change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-20. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into a limited license agreement with the City of Spring Hill, Tennessee for storage space for RMS servers. The motion by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe, the second by Commissioner Paul Webb. Property Committee was 5-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Rainey.
Just another housekeeping agreement to work with the city to share space.
Are there any questions? Commissioner Sturgeon.
Yeah, I'm just curious what an RMS server is.
This, I don't see anyone, this is allowing them to be a backup at our emergency management for their systems. Have I got that right, Mayor? So this is their emergency,
So the servers belong to,
right, we're their backup. That's what, this is an agreement for us to be a backup for their
so
service.
if their servers go down, then ours is.
Correct.
It's their server, just in our location.
Right. But our servers back up their servers, is what they're saying.
No.
It's their servers in
They,
both locations.
they will actually put a new piece of
Excuse me, I
equipment
thought-
into our space that will be a backup server to theirs. We won't have access to it, we're just.
So they're
leasing.
backing up their own servers?
That's right. It's
in
a
our space.
In our
redundancy.
facilities, I got
We've
that.
done the same with the
Thank you.
hospital. They have a backup server over there that the hospital owns, but it backs
Gotcha.
up their system. This will do the same thing for Spring Hill.
It's a place to keep it.
Yes.
Right, where I was
Thanks,
wrong
Jeff.
is I thought it was ours, it's our space for their server, so, for a backup.
Thank you for the explanation.
Are there any questions? We'll get it right eventually. Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button, opposed, your no. Anyone wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 7-22-21. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into a contract with Metropolitan, Nashville, and Davidson County Juvenile Court to house juveniles in the Williamson County Juvenile Detention Center. The motion by Commissioner Mason, the second by Commissioner Herbert. Law Enforcement and Public Safety was 4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Mason.
This is to allow the mayor to enter into a contract with Metro Nashville for any time we may need to house, Metro would need to house a juvenile in our juvenile detention facilities, and it establishes the rate in which we will be paid to do that.
Are there any questions? Commissioner Williams.
I have just a simple question, maybe Judge Guffey can educate us a little bit, but it says limited number of juvenile detention facilities. In our kind of Middle Tennessee area, who has these besides ourselves? And then I'm also curious, like, what's the percentage of our population that might be from outside of our county?
So we have contracts with several counties to house their juveniles because they don't have detention centers. And the percentage, I'm just going to have to ballpark it, 1 to 2%.
Okay, because I know ours is pretty tight on space.
We only have 12 beds.
Right. And then, so who does have juvenile detention facilities other than ourselves in our immediate area?
In our immediate area,
Right, counties or
several of them do. Rutherford, Sumner. Your larger counties have detention centers. Dixon County does not. Murray County does not. I mean, I can tell you the ones that don't, that contract with us.
right.
But you'd be surprised they're not in every county.
Okay, no, thank you for that. I was just educating myself here. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. You're in favor, press your yes button, opposed, your no. Anyone wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Late filed resolution 7-22-24. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute a 2022-23 grant agreement with the State of Tennessee Department of Health for the provisions of dental services at the Williamson County Health Department in an amount not to exceed $175,800. The motion by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliff, the second by Commissioner Barb Sturgeon. Public Health didn't meet. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please.
Yes, sir. First, I want to say it's an honor to read the last resolution that you will preside over. Thank you for being here and doing this. This is $175,800 that does not have to be matched, does not require matching funds to help with dental health care for Williamson County Health Department.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button, opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
22 yes, 0 no.
That concludes our agenda for today. Is there any other business to come before the commission?
Move to adjourn.
We are adjourned.